Now to the social media crackdown in the aftermath of the Capitol Hill siege. In addition to Twitter banning President Trump.
This morning, President Trump waking up without his favorite megaphone.
Let me ask you, should I keep the Twitter going or not? Keep it going?
Twitter announced that they're permanently suspending his account. A lifetime ban. A lifetime ban. Trump's basically the Pete Rose of social media.
Social media has been around for the longest time, pretty much since the internet was invented. Social media is where people can chat, share, and record what they are up to in their daily lives. Many influencers like David Dobrik, Roman Atwood, and others have taken on social media as a job. However, with social media comes misinformation. According to UNT, Dallas College of Law, the term misinformation is defined as false or inaccurate information, and tons of it is posted on social media every minute. Companies like Google, Facebook, and Twitter have tried to get better about it, but some people believe that this is censorship. We interviewed David Kay, a law professor at the University of California at Irvine, and Kay claimed that we should be wary.
Well, for any member of Congress, particularly on the right, to claim censorship by platform, I think is just a little bit silly. First of all, they're often making those claims on massive traditional media platforms such as Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. If we start to dilute the idea of censorship as a state-driven tool by equating it with what platforms are doing, we start to misunderstand what platforms are actually doing and why they're doing it.
The division in America is at a high. It has been seen in many movies. For example, in Ex Machina, where women robots and AI are often portrayed as being viewed as very attractive and not an importance to society. However, if you look at male AIs, such as the one in Iron Man that goes by the name Jarvis, the males are typically strong and carry out an importance to the society and helping out. Because of these films, women feel that they need to be better representative. Another thing that has America divided, obviously, is politics. If a Republican says something, it is automatically shut down by a Democrat and vice versa. The idea of censorship to more conservative-minded people is that big tech companies such as Google, Facebook, and Twitter will automatically ban you from saying specific things that go against more liberalistic views. This results in fighting and war, obviously. Former President Donald Trump had a huge social media presence during his terms. His biggest platform was Twitter, where he would tweet about his political ideology to more than 80 million followers. His tweets were used in media broadcasts as well as late-night comedy shows. But his Twitter will eventually be banned following his January 6th rally. He tweeted, "Just happened to have found another 4,000 votes from Fulton County." Here we go. We asked Dr. Corey, a student at Grand Valley as well as a student assistant at the Regional Math and Science Center, about the spread of misinformation, and this is what she said.
The case of Donald Trump, I believe that censorship is needed to stop misinformation because honestly, his things that he said were just arrogant and they were not. He knew that they were misinformation because the things that he said were kind of really stupid. So I think that personally, yes, censorship was needed because like who comes up with the things that he comes up with and then tweets them. So yes, in this case and in other cases that I'm unfamiliar with, yes, I believe that censorship is needed.
Republicans are divided in Donald Trump's presidency and Twitter presence. It led to the January 6th Capitol riots. People felt Trump took little to no responsibility over his actions from that day.
Say that we see lots of forms of regulation or threats of regulation, but let's be clear. Look at how divided our government is. I mean, just look what happened in the elections, the main election, even the runoff last week. Our country is, razor thin margin of in terms of kind of how we see major issues. The odds of sort of transformative legislation happening anytime in the next 12 months, probably in the next several years, is quite challenging. The only thing I know for sure is it's going to take a very, very long time to get to consensus on very complicated issues that I don't have the answer of. I just listening to you all debate. Nobody, these are very challenging questions. I mean, think about the fact that, think about what we're talking about. If we change the topic instead of overtaking the Capitol, if it was about distributing child pornography, there's no doubt everyone would have a consensus view. It's good that Google takes it down. It's good that Facebook takes it down. It's good that Twitter takes it down. Is it a bright line red rule that overthrowing the government, being the president willfully telling people to go overthrow the government, is that a bright line rule that should be kind of viewed the same way? That's clearly what is being done here, that there was a clear view that this is something that just cannot stand and they have to take action. We can debate whether it's okay, but I think you're going to see years of legislation.
Even though Trump was banned in 2021 from these sites, some people won't let it go. Ron DeSantis is one of the key politicians in trying to get rid of censorship altogether.
Silicon Valley is acting as a council of censors. They cancel people. When mobs come after somebody, they will pull them down. They shadow ban people, which creates partisan echo chambers. And honestly, they are some of the major reasons why this country is divided for doing what they're doing. And the worst part about this, Silicon Valley thinks they know better than you.
According to the New York Times, since his ban in President Biden's inauguration, he has posted statements online far less often, but some of his statements have traveled just as far and wide on social networks. He eventually has filed a lawsuit against Twitter, Google, and Facebook, claiming he was a victim of censorship. However, according to BBC News, this lawsuit has been criticized by legal experts who pointed to Mr. Trump's habit of issuing lawsuits for media attention, but not aggressively defending the claims in court. His argument of free speech infringement has been questioned by analysts, as the companies he accuses have those same First Amendment protections in determining content on these sites. You can still get censored. However, Elon Musk recently bought Twitter, and it is believed he will change the policy on censorship. It will be interesting to see what comes out of this in the next couple weeks or years.